Thank you for invitation and a lot of nice words about myself. One explanation or maybe two, short. I am not a doctor. I am master of science. But I am trying to repair rivers from this side. I am feeling myself as such guy. And second is I am Polish.
It's an honorary doctor.
Yeah, thank you. I am Polish because organization is Polish Germany. The movement Rewilding Oder cover all Europe and as maybe some of you know, currently appear something much bigger. This is global idea. This is Rewilding Global Alliance. So in each continent, people start to listen, think in a way. We started some years ago in small team during discussion and coffee breaks. We start to think what happens, what not work. It was so nice plans to nature conservation, protection. We spent as a countries individually and as EU. So big money. But the conditions of nature are worse and worse. This is strange. I have maybe some of you are thinking, inviting me that I bring some answers, but I have more questions after the first day than answers. And I'm afraid that here I will also ask you more than answer because, like with this weather report, we currently in Poland also wait for rains at the same level like happens during 97 flood. So this is a little the same story. Unfortunately, using this more than 20 years, we demolished much more in basin of Odera River, and currently the same level of rains could be more tragic than it was. So the question is, are we learning something or not? But the title is about scale. It is difficult to say large scale. What does it mean? For me, the scale should be enough big to really repair something, to stimulate, to start comeback of processes. Because rewilding, this is a story about possibilities of manage nature itself. Because there are more and more proofs that it is the best manager. Unfortunately, we have problem with understanding and accepting this. We love to manage everything as a species. Talking about the large scale, we are trying to find a scale where our intervention will stimulate nature comeback. Because thinking about water is the base for everything. We are staying on the river, also staying on the top of the mountain. We are staying on the river. So we have to look for water as the creator of everything we know. This is our world, built by millennia by water. And currently we are afraid of water. This is strange, but this is the truth. And we should be afraid because we change so much the landscape that this landscape is earlier ready for taking every rain. Currently, after every bigger is flooded. This flood is not a problem. It is part of the natural processes. But when we build something or jump into the floodplains, then it starts to be a problem. But in my opinion, we should more be aware of droughts, because this is the permanent state of the continent in Europe. So coming back for a moment to the scale, nature lovers often are afraid of big machines doing something in nature. The truth is that demolishing we're doing by centuries, and especially last 2 centuries, it was made by also big machines, and sometimes this is the only way to do it quickly and repairing what was earlier demolished. Here you see one of the oldest shipping waterway in Europe. Ina River was used by 5 centuries as a waterway. It's difficult to trust what I'm saying, but you can have a look in Hansa history. It was wars on this river. Who is owner? Because this was tax taker. And Szczecin was fighting with Golenów and Stargard, 3 towns, who also, Ina was a prisoner, close by Szczecin head, because he didn't want to accept the situation that Golenów is taking tax. Also, they changed the river mouth. So this is the history of this river. Currently, it looks like white river. This is next part of the problem. Something looking like it is not working, like natural. This is still channel, because when we start to channelize, deepen the river is the lowest point when you cross-cut the catchment, then the natural lowest point, it is rivers. When you deepen it, you deepen everything. So thanks to this, you have less and less water, groundwater. And when we are talking about the catchment, because in general we are talking the surface of catchments. What the truth is that catchment is a space. We should talk about capacity of catchment. We lost a lot. Thanks to drying this, deepening the natural drainage, we lost cubic kilometers, not meters. Currently, often we see information that we are preparing millions meters, cubic meters. What does it mean? It is capacity for few hours of strong rain. So this is myths, but opening big money for some groups of interest. When we talk about rewilding and scale, we are trying to think about rivers from the springs to the mouth. We are placed in the mouth of Odera River during last 30 years. It was historical, it is a story, so it was most productive water in Poland. The fish productivity, for example, it was more than 20 times higher than in typical lake inland. So it was really full of life. At the same time, this estuary was cleaning all this load, what was transported by Odra River to Pomerania Bay and Baltic Sea. Currently it not works because it was killed, building new shipping way. Because a few years ago, we had an investment for what is this navigability. When we talk about this, we shouldn't say we need navigability. Is it our business that somebody earn money, good money, using river for transporting? If it is boat enough big to the size of the river, it's okay. Because this function rivers offer from the start. But when we change the river for some use of bigger boats, currently in Poland we accepted change from the semi-natural, partially, river to the channel. Odera is channel, and currently when water like in 97 will come, it could be catastrophe, really. So, but coming back, so this is bigger scale. We are not able to change it. We can. We were giving comments from the first signals of idea of this investment. It happens. Our comments lay somewhere. Yeah, this is strange when we are talking here about EU policy. I have a question why such places are not protected. Because they are not. The last we can find in some white forests, thanks God, foresters, they are looking much forward than the other groups of users of the landscape, because forests not grow in 1-2 years, so they have to keep in mind longer periods. So there are one type, this is protected nature site only, but thanks to some plants you can find there. But in general, as a geographical, biological site, it is not protected. It is, in my opinion, a huge mistake. But of course, in farmlands, you will not find such places. Eventually, you can, having some old maps, you can find where the pipes were put into the ground, and currently are drenaging very effectively all area. And thanks to this, every rain, currently we have two situations in water currently in most of territory of EU. This is drought or flood. We lose normal time. So this is thing we want to change. So we plan to do actions in scale which will be able to have influence, maybe not in big catchments like a quarter of country, but in smaller it is possible. This is a model. If you want, I can guide you. To see the close to natural river in Poland. We planned to do reserve, but we were blocked. This is hydrologically natural riverbed. You see that this is connected with floodplain. It was thanks to building the sequence of reservoirs, artificial, 100 years ago. They left this. Forget about. So, thanks to this, you can see that natural Pomerania River, it looks like mountain rivers with sequences of rapids and these slower, deeper parts. And we are trying to do the same, because the main change in Ina River, for example, it was a removal of every shallower stretches, because it was a problem for shipping. Second thing they changed, it is wide of the river, because they need deeper. So they deepened it and narrower. Thanks to this, they received channel. It works, of course, it works. With horses holding ships up. This is the story about ecology of river in transportation, because up we use also current, not help. So this is the problem. To come back and to repair this lost retention in ground, we need to repair it. But the difficulty is that people see catchment as, this is a model built by Professor Mateusz Grigoruk. It is very easy. Big computer spent more than 1 week to prepare such model. We will see why. This is what we see. This is the true about surface level, underground. Yeah, this is this first, not deeper. This is why I am saying everywhere we are staying in the river. This is on the border here. There is hills, 60 meters, but sandy hills, and this is the model of catchment, and this is what we should have in mind how it works, and it works everywhere in the same way. This is the scheme what we are building, thanks to my colleague who draw better than me. There are a lot of functions of such structures, and for example, in Poland I will show you some examples from other rivers, not made by my association, but I was a part of team who was doing also this project, Drava River restoration. But everywhere people are thinking about fishes, but the truth is that the most important function is to stabilize the low water level, not high water. Because high water is not a problem. The problem is with low water, because the keeping this low water at the right level determine the use of capacity of retention in catchment. And this is, again, this is in a river during spring. You can see it was meandering like this. Currently, it is half shortened. It is currently, it is five centuries ago it happens, and currently you don't see, because earlier it was roads on both banks, and these roads were used for horses. This is maybe one underwater picture, but of restored river. When we started the first life project, and Eva was also a part of trees, a part of association. I'm also a member, president, the Association of Friends in Community Rivers. This is also Crowfoot River, Water Crowfoot River. This is a special group of plants you could see here. This is all year green plants which do very important service, self-cleaning river. In opposite to the most of plants which disappear in autumn, it is working all the year, so the service is really very important. Current stage with the things we are talking about, this is the map of renaturalization activity. It could make imagination that we did a lot, but when you start to zoom the map, you see that still it is points or stretches of the rivers. But there are, as you see, one center, and I have pleasure to live here and work here, and being a part of this. And second center is in south of Poland, where happened also big, really enough big, in my opinion, restoration project. It is the Old River Valley Restoration Project. The effects we will see in coming years, but you also could see that, eastern part is still waiting. But there were many, 20, 30 years ago, it was many rivers which didn't need any interventions. Interventions there happens after flood in 97. Flood was here on this catchment, but everybody wanted to use money after flood. So they were preparing explanation, we need money because flood happens. So the huge river of money from EU was spent for demolishing healthy catchments in eastern Poland. That is true. Drava River, this is the project awarded in Fish Passage 2020 conference by World Hydro-Engineer Organization. We restored river in national park. I had more problems with nature lovers and scientists to explain why I'm trying to do something in national park. It was looking so beautiful, but it was channel. And most of this river still is channel. 245 last century, it was a shipping channel used by big ships, 10-meter long, to timber transportation. So, you know, nature was trying, but still needs a lot of time. And we have to keep in mind that if in mountains the difference between big water and low water is 2,000%, in lowland it is sometimes 100% bigger, high water. So it has no power. The power which was creating the landscape we are living in lowlands happens 7, 8, 10,000 years ago. It was the time of building landscape. Then after this, nothing happens enough big to change the situation until human came. The effects, benefits. Is it benefit when wildlife come back? For me, no. It's just things I love to happen, but it is not benefit. This is the things should be. You know, in Drava River, after building second hydropower in the world, German built it 120 years ago. In next years, the last populations of Odera River salmon, the biggest salmons in the world. This population, Odera, has growth few times quicker than the others. In Drava rivers, we have data, historical data, showing fishes near 50 kilograms. Atlantic salmon, twice bigger than in other catchments. It was very special. This is why British wanted to buy last eggs and try to reintroduce it in Falkland Islands without success, unfortunately. So, but it was some individuals, thanks to artificial stocking, etc. But after our project, first from 25 years, juveniles appear after spawn. Here you see salmon reds. It is 30 meters wide river, so each red of one female, it is near 4 meters. And then next I will show you how we are doing, but it is not salmon, this is how it will work. It is last slides. This is sea trout, twice smaller, but doing the same. They are preparing some, let's say, buildings, hills from the gravel, putting eggs between to be safe and good situation. Next action we are doing, because thanks to navigability and use for water transportation, every tributary of Ina River was used for milling. Because this is one of the important things to solve. Currently we are trying to remove it. Unfortunately, most of it is very old, so we have problem with law because it is protected. So we are only touching this, part in water, because water is water. So this is what we use, and such ruins we are turning in passable for fish, for ichthyophauna. It happens this year, so I'm proud. After 10 years of fighting, we removed one such. But the truth is that we removed much, much more. So I put to the rivers few trains of gravels in many places in Pomerania rivers, part as a rewilding. Next, repairing of river valleys, restoration of multi-parameter connectivity in river valleys. This is rising, it is a park, but opening floodplain, alluvial forest, opening for flooding, it is very important, and the nature come back, you can see it's fantastic, yes. This is, flowering rivers, people from like Eva living in mountains, some mountains regions knows this. Earlier it was possible to see everywhere in every river. This is very important. This is salmon plant in UK also. Yeah, and when we refer the conditions in valleys, these valleys and this landscape is ready for also such guests, and we are active in such projects also. This is benefit? No, this is success, but it could be benefit for whom? This is also part of our activity. It is benefits for local people, because this is the question, but here we could talk about benefits, possible benefits. The problem is how to steer this process, to not use it as a mass tourism, such brilliant nature, and the only guard able to take care about it, this is the local people, because investment from cities, etc., we don't understand if they not live there. There is a set of team. Part of it is our team, part is our friends and local people. Thank you for attention.